Carling, it is such a pleasure again to talk to you. It was an amazing show last night. Watching, starting off with Greg Norman and then sort of all the drama that occurred during the show. Just give me your perspective of that day from beginning to end. Just tell me how you're feeling. I know you had some issues with your blood sugar levels, but just explain what that day was like for you.
It was a really emotional day for everybody. We all woke up. We'd been there about a week. First off, we see Greg Norman, and everyone's spirits are high, and then you're more nervous. We had to hit these incredible shots during the first challenge, and, it was disappointing that I didn't make it. I wasn't immune in the beginning, and then we went to the second challenge, and then we're all excited again because we have the glass breaking. It's your favorite challenge, the one you look forward to. And I had some blood sugar problems later on, and I felt like everybody was a little bit on edge the whole day long, and of course, including myself, and I'm just happy that I made it out there alive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, you certainly ended it with a bang with that amazing shot that you hit over that rock. It was 3 feet 7 inches. Could you do it again if they handed you the club?
Oh, I don't know. I'm going to say there's a pretty good chance that maybe I can get it that close, at least inside 5 feet. But I'm really happy that I came through in the clutch because with my blood sugar still up and down, and I started to cry. And Ryan said it perfectly. Carly was just losing it emotionally. I think I might be able to beat her. I'm sure everybody thought I was going to go home earlier in the day. So I thought that I should capitalize as early as I can in that elimination.
Mm-hmm. Well, you certainly did that. And, I can't help but ask you, some of the back and forth between you and Sara during the show was certainly entertaining for all of us watching, but we really didn't understand where this was all coming from. So maybe you can just talk a little bit about what was going on there. And at the end of the day, the two of you are sitting pretty on the sidelines watching the elimination challenge between Ryan and Maya. Did you patch it up?
We patched it up. And all of us girls, like I said, we said it's reality TV, it's pressure out there. We all say things that we don't really mean in the heat of the moment. Mm-hmm. And all of us have done a good job of making up. But we were out there, and we were debating on whether Ryan was going to chip during the glass breaking challenge. And I said, I think she's going to chip. And she said, girl, I think you're crazy. Mm. And so I was like, okay. And then when she pulled out her club to chip, I said, look who's crazy now. And Sara got a little upset. I got a little upset. We exchanged some words, and hurt my feelings a little bit that she said that my blood sugar must be a little high because it actually was high that day.
Yeah.
But we patched it up, and everything's going to be okay now, though.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Well, the interesting thing is that comment about blood sugar is actually sometimes people say that to everybody, like it's kind of a common thing. What did you just drink? You seem to be on a little bit of a high, and I wondered if she actually forgot at that point and just sort of blurted it out that you were diabetic, and I thought, oh, wow, timely was that. So
maybe, yeah, you know what, she might have. And plus, I'm very open about my diabetes. I talk about it all the time, and it's a very lighthearted subject with me because I'm very open about it. So sometimes people forget that, it is really kind of tough, and I do have to deal with them on a daily basis, and I leave myself open a little bit for things like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, it's good that you do, because nobody really knows what it's like unless you live with somebody who is a diabetic and you watch them day to day and you realize what they have to go through. Just testing your blood sugar every day, it's just, I would not want to have to do that, let alone the insulin and all that. And also, just health-wise, is you really have to look after yourself. So, I don't think anybody can appreciate it, but it's good that you're so open about it because it'll make people less uncomfortable, around you than if you weren't open about it. But, the whole show had some interesting dynamics in the way people were playing. At the beginning, some of those shots were just so horrid, and I know the placement of the shots from Greg Norman were very difficult, but how much do you think nerves were in play there with him watching the ladies hit those shots, or were they just so difficult that the women couldn't do it?
Oh, it was a combination of the both, Gail. I mean, the shots were difficult, And there were shots we never wanted to give ourselves during play. But then you've got the shark over there. He's 20 feet away. The guy's won 2 major championships, and he's got to be the coolest person you've met in real life. So, of course, in the back of our minds, we're thinking, okay, maybe if I get up and down, Greg Norman will invite me to play golf with him next week. And so it's very nerve-wracking, and I think it got to some of us just a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I probably wouldn't have been able to hold a club. I would have been so nervous. I would have probably turned it upside down and used it as a pool cue. But yeah. Now, did you get any tips from him prior to going out there and trying out these shots? I know he did spend some time with some of the ladies. I wasn't sure if you were one of them or got to learn anything from him that you can take forward.
Oh yeah, I hate to say it, I followed around Greg Norman like a little puppy dog around the putting and chipping green. I mean, he's there. How many chances do you get to meet the guy? So I wanted to get some tips for him, and I was working on some bump and runs and some certain chips, and he was teaching me actually how to hit the low chip. And he gave me a few pointers, and he talked about how sometimes it doesn't even have to be so far back in your stance, but if it's a little front in your stance and you lean forward on it, you can still get a low chip. And he taught me a lot of good stuff. I had a really fun time talking to him.
Oh, that's great. Oh, yeah. Every time I talk to one of you ladies and I hear about Greg Norman, I just think, wow, it's not just... It's just so amazing that he was so giving and accommodating to everybody. I wonder if Tiger would do that. Do you think?
Tiger? I don't know. Tiger seems a little bit more like a private kind of person. I don't really see him working with the public as much. And Greg Norman was just so laid back. He seemed like someone who'd just be... You could picture him sitting at home watching the ball game, hanging out. Kind of guy, just real down to earth. And I like what he said at lunch, where he said, "What do you like to do for fun?" And he said, "Nothing."
Yeah.
I like to hang out, and that's how all of us professional golfers feel. So, he's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Freddie Couples is a lot like that too, I think. Both very down to earth, laid back. It's nice. Do you have a favorite PGA professional that you follow?
I like to go old school with you, and I like Jack Nicklaus because he's an Ohio State guy. And so I really follow him a lot. And I like Freddie Couples, and I really like Mike Weir because he just seems like a really nice guy out there.
Neat.
So I kind of follow a few guys here or there. I'd say out of the young people, I really like Anthony Kim because he just seems like a real cool guy. I just want to hang out with Anthony Kim, I think.
Well, you'd certainly party well, I think. Yeah. What about on the ladies' side? Do you have a favorite in the LPGA?
Sure. It's kind of funny because now it's getting to the point where I know some of the girls on the LPGA. And, I actually respect Michelle Wee a lot because she's had a lot of troubles. And a couple years ago, she went to Q School and got her card and went through it just the legitimate way like everybody else, and she's been hanging tough. So I can respect that. And obviously, I'd love to shoot a 59 someday like Annika. So she's always in that top group, too.
Yeah, no, everybody loves Annika. Just reading a book by Pia Nilsson and Lynn Marriott about every shot must have a purpose. And when I read it, I think of Annika almost every page I read. So, yeah, she's pretty special. Well, this has been terrific again, Carlin. You do a great interview. Thank you so much. Anything you want to close with today?
No, I don't think so. I'm having a great time with the Big Break, and it's getting dramatic, and all of us look like we're just biting at one another, but I'm sure it's only going to get worse from here, so we're all excited to see where the show goes and how it turns out. Yeah, no, it's good. It looks like a really good group of ladies, very talented. I think the most talented group I've ever seen on the show. So yeah, it's just getting better every week, and thank you so much again for taking the time to talk to me, and I look forward to talking to you next week then. Okay. Thanks. Take care. So much. Bye-bye. Bye.